seen. Ukraine has always struck Russian refineries. But now when Ukraine strikes a refinery, we see these massive smoke plumes. It looks like a volcano has gone off. And then we see experts a couple of days later tell us how long those refineries are expected to be offline. And it's not days or weeks, it's months and months at a time. And these are some of Russia's most important refineries. What's happening right now is that Ukraine has been growing and experiencing technology for years, while simultaneously grinding down Russian air defense systems. And it really feels like they've recently flipped a switch on both of these things, taking advantage of both dynamics at the exact same time. Russia's air defenses have never been weaker, and they continue to get weaker every single day. While from an offensive perspective, Ukraine has never been stronger, and their capabilities again grow every single day, with massive surpluses to draw from, meaning they can keep up the pressure. But it's not just that. Ukraine has also gotten better at target selection and execution. They're better at selecting the targets that will have the biggest impact, and they're better at hitting those targets precisely where they will cause the most damage. On top of that, they're getting better at knowing which targets are the least defended by Russian air defense systems, so they can do the most damage possible across the entire Russian economy and war machine. We've recently seen some examples of this, where Ukrainian Flamingo missiles, multiple of them, have successfully hit the same target one after the other, defying Russian air defense systems and destroying an extremely important Russian facility. But that's just one example of a much bigger dynamic. A lot to discuss today, right after today's sponsor. True significance of what's actually happening in the war in Ukraine right now, you should understand this. And that is that for years now, the potential for what we're seeing right now has been thoroughly modeled. But the models have been wrong. They've been wrong in this way. Even the most optimistic models have been totally incorrect about how capable Ukraine actually is. And many of these models predicted an ultimate Ukrainian victory. Right now, we are seeing, in reality, in action before our eyes, events that make Ukraine look far more powerful than most people even imagined. But the general scenario still matches what a lot of people have long expected, and the expectation was this: that one day, the trends in the war in Ukraine that have been sort of building below the surface would finally bubble up above the surface to where your average person, even those who never pay attention to the war in Ukraine, would realize just how strong Ukraine really is and how weak Russia is, and the fact that Ukraine could actually win this thing. Right now, we're actually seeing that in the public sphere with some very prominent examples. Because even some public figures who have made big stakes, who have risked a lot on making big claims about Ukraine, are now walking back those claims to say that Ukraine is doing well. Most notably, of course, is probably Donald Trump, who famously made a big stink in the